When one guards his speech and engages others in conversations that are positive and constructive, the merit of Shmiras HaShalom is multiplied many times, because by exercising restraint in speech, one draws others to this mitzvah as well. The same words that sweep through the heavens are capable of penetrating the deepest levels of man, even in the most seemingly meaningless chatter. The words that pass between people work powerful changes on them and within them. What a person says, what he hears, and what others say about him can surely change the course of his life, and even alter his substance. To see this at work, one must zoom in closely and watch. Like the time-lapse photography that shows a flower blooming, the activity of words in our world is indescribable from minute to minute, but shows up with startling clarity when viewed over time. Once spoken, the words carve their own path, destroying in ways the speaker can never predict. As damaging as Lashon Hara can be to the external factors of another person's life, it has the even more disastrous potential for demolishing a person's interior landscape. The self-image is a malleable entity. People pick up clues as to their own worth through the way others treat them. If they receive honor, they feel honorable. If they are ignored, they feel invisible. That is why when Lashon Hara reaches back to its subject, the harm it does is so severe. For the disparaging words to reach back to the subject, it isn't necessary that there be a direct report of what was said and who said it. It can become obvious in an indirect way by the changed manner in which others treat him. Either way, his vision of himself is altered. Another Jew has essentially reached inside this person and robbed him of some aspect of his self-image. Sometimes inside him is gone. Shmiras HaShalom increases the level of mutual respect among one's friends, family, and co-workers. By focusing on the good in others, one illuminates and highlights it for everyone to see. Moreover, the same wit and insight that can be used to critique another person and violate his sense of self can also serve the purpose of building it, reflecting back to him the best Hashem has placed within him. Lashon Hara reflects the belief that everyone and everything should conform to one's own standard. It arises out of an intolerance of differences between oneself and others, someone else's customs as opposed to one's own, someone else's opinion as opposed to one's own, someone else's financial approach as opposed to one's own. The underlying basis for focusing on these differences is the sense that one's own way is the right way. It is the egocentric need to assert the superiority of one's own way of doing things, which is at its heart a denial of the uniqueness with which Hashem has endowed each human being. That is the mechanics of Lashon Hara. Just as people's faces don't resemble each other, so too their thought processes don't resemble each other. From the Gemara, Shmiras HaShalom is the prism through which one can see the validity and the various paths and opinions among well-meaning people. Even without agreeing or seeing the value of someone else's way of thinking, one can accept it as valid. The Beis Yisrael, Rabbi Israel Alter of Ger, commented on the above agadic teaching, saying that one should accept differences in thought as readily as he accepts differences in appearance. Lashon Hara bequeaths to one's children a discontented attitude towards life. Through their parents' example, they learn to become critical and cynical, a lesson that will color every relationship in their lives. And they become inclined towards Lashon Hara, a habit which will cripple their efforts to live as Torah Jews. Shmiras HaShalom instills in children confidence in the fundamental goodness of the world. They learn to judge others favorably, forming a habit that enhances every relationship in their lives, and they develop the character traits that will equip them for their lifetime endeavor of serving Hashem. Lashon Hara coarsens the speaker. Without looking any further into Lashon Hara's destructive power, the Torah proscribes it for one overriding basic reason. Demeaning others is self-demeaning. It is a lowly activity that coarsens the character and has no place among the traits of a Jew. As Hashem's people, Jews are held to a higher standard of behavior that certainly doesn't allow for an act as unrefined as peddling derogatory information about another person. Moreover, Lashon Hara breeds unhappiness in the speaker. The momentary gratification of engaging in gossip is far outweighed by the damage Lashon Hara does to one's perception of the world.